to welcome everybody to the Lighthouse Project. Once again, super excited to be here tonight. Got an excellent lesson for you. For all the people that are out there in the Facebook world, I just want to say, before we start, pick up a huge mitzvah and share this class now. You have no idea what one piece of information, one little nugget of Torah that gets into a person's ear will change their life forever, and it will be to your merit. Please share this class, share this group, the Lighthouse Project, and not only will it be to your merit, but it will also help spread the word of Torah all over the world. As far as for us here tonight, we've started a journey of Avodat Hashem B'Simcha, and finding out what it is to actually live that, to be able to practice the religion and be happy. Last week we did the lesson of Chokhmat HaPanim V'Hayad, in other words, palmistry and personology as taught by the Kabbalah. Today is the second lesson. Last week we delved into the face. Tonight we will delve into the hand. So as we continue our journey of Avodat Hashem B'Simcha, we keep stopping and exploring different areas on how we can discover our true identity as Jews. So we can reach the point of clarity with ourselves and with God. In the past few lessons, we've been parked on the concept of Middot and the many different facets that it covers. Tonight will be the second part of the art of personology and palmistry, Chokhmat HaPanim V'Hayad, as it's said in Hebrew. And this will also be the last part of the Middot section of this series. I know we went off on a tangent. It took us about 4 or 5 lessons in order to just to open up Middot a little bit. But this will be the last of it until we go to a different subject next week. See, working on one's Middot is a lifetime's work. And the more you invest on improving your Middot, the better product you become. The closer you become to Tselem Elokim. Tselem Elokim is in Hebrew, in English, is in God's image. The more we emulate Hashem, the closer we become like Hashem, and the closer we become to our ultimate tikkun. In previous lessons, we spoke about the Jewish version of love and how it's expressed, the importance of having control of our emotions, feelings, and actions, and the importance of learning musar, learning the ethical values of a Jew as taught by our sages, and all for it to bring us closer to our true Jewish identity and true purpose in life. And through this, we're always cognizant of the fact that we don't want to be a copy and paste version of ourselves, mimicking some goyish personalities that are around us. Discovering who we are as individuals, as Jews, is what we're trying to do here today. We came upon Parashat Yitro in the Zohar, which is also called Razeh Razin, the secret of secrets. And over there, it discusses the secrets of the hand and face, that they are a personal guide to every person's life. We learn how the face and hands are a person's personal GPS to his persona, showing the potential of his life through his character traits that are prominent or deficient. Last week we learned about people's hairs, face, nose, eyes, and we got a glimpse into the telling signs of a person through their features and countenance. Tonight we'll explore the hands, the art of Kabbalistic palmistry, as learned through Parashat Yitro and the Zohar, accompanied by more knowledge acquired by Rabbi and Dr. Gil Gershon Tivon, who is a master teacher and gives many lectures throughout the world regarding this knowledge, and many other lectures regarding a person's character, and the hand and face, as well as body language. I'd like to take a moment to give an honorable mention to tonight's sponsors. Tonight's learning is generously sponsored by Joseph Ben Melech in honor of the Refuah Shelema of Devorah Feiga Bat Rezel. Be'ezat Hashem, that God gives her Refuah Shelema Bimhera, as well as Mario Spoznik.
That's me.
Really, Mario? This is you? Well, Mario, to our honored guest that's with us here today,
Very honored.
that is a sponsor of the classes, and who's sponsoring in honor of the Refuah Shelema of Menachem Mendel Ben Sarah Batya. Be'ezat Hashem, that Menachem also have all the yeshuot, all the refuah, all the medicinal and spiritual help that he needs to get out of the situation that he's in. B'toch kol cholam Yisrael. Also, Maria Sianova, in honor of her husband. How sweet. We also have over here Menachem Mendel Abramov, that Hashem should bless him in his work and Parnasa V'Shefa. Amen.
Amen.
And Rami Boaziz, in honor of the health and success of his family. Rami, Be'ezrat Hashem, that you have a lot of health and a lot of success to you and to your family, to your extended family, and all that are mitlavim elecha. We also want to do an honorable mention of DJ Acquisitions, that have the Issachar and Zevulun sponsorship, where the person gives the class and DJ Acquisitions gets the credit for the Refuah Shelema of Menachem Mendel Ben Sarah Batya and Devorah Feiga Bat Rezel. We also want to give a birthday Facebook shout out, hey, to Daniel Mordechai, in honor of the Refuah Shelema of Yonatan Ben Chanach. This class is sponsored by our own Yisachar and Zevulun sponsorship, which is H&M Builders' own Joseph Dornbush, a young man who's doing this in honor of his grandfather, Yosef Ben Yehuda. Hazak ubaruch, God bless, kol hakavod. Be'ezat Hashem, that Joseph have a lot of success in all that he does. Be'ezat Hashem, that he have a zivug, beserot tovot. To him, his family, has a beautiful mother, a beautiful father, a beautiful extended family. Be'ezat Hashem, you have a lot of success in your company, build a lot of buildings, get a lot of plans approved, and Be'ezat Hashem will hear a lot of good news in your zivug b'mehera. Last, but definitely not least, a very special person, Stacy Bouton, who's been listening to our classes since we started, which is not that long ago. We're only about 7 or 8 classes deep, but she's been in there from the beginning. And she's gotten such a good impression, and she has such a good connection, that she went ahead and became an honorable sponsor for not just one, not just 2, but many, 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 many classes. She's put her hard-earned money towards Torah. And all this is in honor of her 3 boys, Yonatan Michael Ben Stacy, Eliyahu Ben Stacy, and Shalom Ben Stacy. So they merit to become Talmid Chachamim. First of all, Stacy, a big Chazak Baruch. Look at the beautiful women of Israel. Look at this, that they are in the middle of the night. They could be doing anything else. Yeah, I'm competing right now with the Kardashians and Ian Bravo. I don't know what's on TV. She's watching Torah. God bless you, Stacy. Secondly, she's supporting it. She goes out there, she works, she makes money. She says, no, take it. I want more Torah in the world. God bless you, Stacy. Kol hakavod. Hazak Baruch. And Yonatan, Eliyahu, and Shalom become Talmidei Chachamim. You have to learn, be big Torah Jews, come back to Hashem. And as a matter of fact, if you guys are interested, I will gladly do a conference call with you for 5 minutes or 10 minutes every single night if you want to get closer to Hashem. We'll learn together. Come be my chavruta. Okay. And to the Refuah Shelema Menachem Mendel Ben Sarah Batya and the Devorah Feiga Bat Rezel. Hazaku Baruch. Look at all these Jews getting involved. Let's get started.
Are we getting started?
No? This is just the build-up.
Yeah.
The secrets of the face and hand, personality and palmistry, is taught in the Zohar in Parashat Yitro, Razeh Derazin, Part 2. The hand is perhaps way more telling than the face, as there is a lot of info packed into that physical map. Tonight we will explore just a few major points to get an idea of the chokhmah, of the knowledge that Hashem has installed in us. Warning, please note that all the information gained tonight is just to better help you understand yourself and your journey and your infinite potential. This is not a judging tool on other people. This is just a way to explore our Middot and directly deal with the most intimate part of our lives, our trials, our successes, and ultimately our tikkun. Don't ask people for their hand and start making things up. Keep in mind that the way we stumbled upon this lesson is we're just trying to better our character. And we found out that Hashem says, you want to find out who you are? Look at your face, look at your hand. There's a full map of your potential of who you can be. Let's start off with a little nugget. So how many times have we been here before? Does anybody know how many times we've been reincarnated? Okay. So they say take your right hand, or the hand that you're right with. Everybody a righty over here? Okay. Take your left hand. On your left hand, look at this part over here, where those rings are. How many are there? Start counting. 3, you've been here 3 times before. 2, you've been here twice before. By the way, 2, 3 is very common. If you have any more, that's fine too. But very commonly you find that people have 2 or 3 rings. Yeah, like these bracelets they call them. Yes. That's just a little tip right there, right off the bat. You can get a little bit of information about yourself. That way, because one of the biggest questions is, who am I? Where did I come from? If I was in a past life, you know what? Here you go. You've been here a few times before. How many times? 2 or 3, which you'll find more commonly than the most. See, generally, the left side is your potential, while the right side is your actual. Keep in mind that sometimes the left doesn't reflect the new potential, since not enough time has passed in order for it to show. Last week's class, we said that we can actually tell about a person through his face and through his hand. However, we learned also that the body changes. The lines on the hand, they change. A person's face changes. The lines on the face change. It all depends on his mitzvot or his avonot. But it takes time. You don't change from one day to the next. It takes several months, or sometimes up to a year. So really what you're reading is old news. It's not like up to the minute, this is what's happening right now. But nonetheless, it's a map and a GPS to who you are. We'll get into it. Eventually, the hand spells out certain things that can happen. It's not necessarily true that it will happen. These are not 100% definite facts. These are all possibilities, potential to what could be. Free will determines your life. Your choice of doing good or bad, right or wrong, is actually what determines the outcome of your life, regardless of what the hand and the face says. And don't forget the pasuk that says, Tamim telech im Elohim Elohecha. What's Tamim telech im Elohim Elohecha? Be innocent, be wholehearted with Hashem. In other words, believe, trust, have emunah that Hashem has His best interest for you. You don't have to go to a tarot card reader, and you don't have to even go further than what this class is about palmistry or face reading in order to find out more. Trust that everything is for the best. Have emunah. You don't have to go into this and start finding out things that might change your mind and make you think foreign thoughts. Do not dabble in this. Only use it as a tool to get to know yourself and your potential better. As a matter of fact, just for the people that weren't in the class last week, we spoke about the accuracy of the information on the face and the hand. We spoke about the accuracy of how Moshe Rabbeinu used it when he was in the desert to handpick the judges and the officers. We spoke about Adam Harishon, how he used it, Shlomo HaMelech, how he used it, and we even spoke about, his name escapes me, Vincent and Edward, a circuit judge in California that basically, after seeing 20 years of criminals in front of him, said, you know what, they all look the same. There's something here. When I look at their faces, they all have the same features. And he started to document it, and he started to get into personology, looking at people's faces to figure out their characters. And after 20 years, he quit his job and went and pursued this particular field with the help of another person who was basically a reporter, and then later on helped him out. And later on, 2 universities that did a study over thousands of students came back 90% accurate that what they see on the face is actually what it is. So even though what I'm telling you here has a tremendous amount of accuracy, but still we don't want to rely on it. Let's continue with the hand. Fingers, palm, the nails. There's a lot of parts to the hand. The fingers, you see, by the way, I'm not going to touch everything. I selected 3 or 4 different things that I'm going to talk about because we don't need to know everything. I just want to show you the amazing knowledge that's here. And the few things that I picked out is just for us to become a little bit smart about who we are. So there's an infinite amount of information that I'm not sharing with you. Should you want to, there's tons of books out there, Jewish books that are respected and that are approved if you want to learn even more. But for right now, I'm just giving you a sampling. Fingers, a taste. See, the fingers are connected to the zodiac, to the signs, to astrology, to the Sefirot, for anybody who's in the Kabbalistic world and knows about the 10 Sefirot, to the planets, to the 4 elements of earth, wind, fire, and water. And that's just the fingers themselves. Now, all of a sudden, we're talking about the fingers and talking about a person's character, and we're stumbling upon astrology. So let's talk about astrology for a minute. We learn a lot about astrology in Parashat Bo. Okay, that's when the Jewish people were leaving Egypt, and there's a mentioning of stars over there, and over there it goes a little bit deeper in the Zohar about astrology. As a matter of fact, if you go to Masechet Shabbat, page Kuf Nun Vav, page 156 on the first side, it also talks there a little bit about astrology, and it says over there, En Mazal LeYisrael, that the Jewish people have no luck. Okay, let's go into that. The zodiac, or the planets, do have power and influence. And they do have power and influence on our lives. There's no question. And this is when you go derech hateva, in the way of nature, when you go in the laws of nature. The planets, where they are, where they stand, their movement, their position, has an actual power on a human being's life. That is true. However, Am Yisrael, we're above the zodiac. We have a different sign. We have a different luck. What's that? Hashem. Hashem is our luck. It says, Al yedei tefillah v'zchut mishtane mazalo letova. A person, through prayer, through good deeds, can change his luck for the better. In other words, this is the way it works. If you follow Hashem's ways, if you follow Hashem's Torah, you are above this predetermined law of nature. The minute you don't follow Hashem, Hashem says, "Okay, you're not following me. Good. I got a plan B for you. I got a plan B. What's the plan B? You're prone to the stars, the planets, and the energies that they are connected to." In other words, there are certain days of the year, certain months, certain hours, that there's an energy available in the world that things should happen a certain way. That's the way the world is set up. But if you are a God-fearing Jew that keeps Torah, mitzvot, and ma'asim tovim, none of that pertains to you. I'll give you a beautiful example. On Shabbat, when we say Birkat Hamazon, there's a special part. Retzeh v'achlitzenu. Retzeh v'achlitzenu is a special part that we add after we eat. During Birkat Hamazon. Listen to how interesting this is, and how it's connected to planets and stars. It says in the Birkat Hamazon of Shabbat, Retzeh v'achlitzenu Hashem Elokeinu mitzvotecha mitzvot yom hashvi'i Shabbat hagadol v'kadosh hazeh. Okay, Hashem want us and redeem us, our God, with your mitzvot, and the mitzvot of this seventh day, the Shabbat, this holy day. Ki yom gadol v'kadosh u'lefanecha. It's a great day and a holy day in front of you. Nishbot bo v'nanuach bo v'nitaneg bo k'mitzvat k'kertzonach. And we'll stop everything that we do, and we'll rest on that day, and we'll enjoy that day the way that you commanded us as part of your mitzvot. Ve'al tihi tzara ve'agon be'mnuchatenu. And don't let it be a tragedy or anguish on the day of our rest. What happened? That last part is off. We're talking about Shabbat, enjoying, relaxing, doing mitzvot. What's this like finishing line of, and don't let there be any anguish or tragedy on that day? Why would the rabbis include that as part of Birkat Hamazon on Shabbat? So very interesting. Every single day is controlled by a planet. And if you don't know this, it's probably going to come to you like, yeah, of course. Let's go through it. Sunday is Sunday. It's controlled by the sun. Monday, moon. It's controlled by the moon. Tuesday is Mars. Wednesday is Mercury. Who speaks Spanish here? How do you say Wednesday in Spanish? Very close to Mercury. Very close. Thursday is Jupiter. Friday is Venus. How do you say Friday in Spanish? Very close to Venus as well. Saturday is by Shabtai. Shabtai is Saturn. Now each day and each planet has a certain energy. The planet Saturn is a negative planet. It has bad energies and it rules Shabbat. One of the most dangerous days of the week is Shabbat. One of the days that has the worst energies is Shabbat. The planet that controls that bad energy rules on Shabbat. But what do we say on Shabbat? Because we're keeping Torah, mitzvot, ma'asim tovim, we are above the control of this planet. But what do we say? Ve'al tihi tzara ve'agon be'yom lechaten. Even though that this day is prone to that energy, don't let it touch us. Let us still be above that energy. Interesting. I'll give you another example. Mars. In Hebrew it's called Ma'adim, the red planet. We all know that Mars is the red planet. They say a person who's born under that day, under the planet of Mars, the red planet, he has two options. Either kulo tzaddik or kulo rasha. He's either a complete tzaddik or a complete wicked man. They say a person who's born under the red planet, he has tendencies for, he's not scared of blood. He's not scared to see blood. As a matter of fact, blood needs to be a part of his life. So typically, if you're a wicked man, you end up being a killer, or somebody who's constantly looking, or a fighter that's constantly seeing blood and hurting people. But if you're a Jew, what's your option? Be a shochet, be a mohel, be a doctor. In other words, you have the tendency, but your free will, your free choice, determines a person's true outcome. The potential to both is there. He could be the killer, he could be the mohel. Your free choice takes you down that road. Just to show you how the planets do have powers. and how we can go above that power, and how God left free choice for us. So it's still a very fair game. You are a product of your choices. You are a product of your life. You know, just as we learned with Chokhmat Panim in our previous class, a person's character, they say the word panim is face, but it's the same letters of penim, internal. See, the face actually shows us the internal side of a person. Even more so, we can learn from people's resemblance to animals that they actually have similar similar characteristics as animals. For example, they say that people, first of all, you have to acknowledge the greatness of God, that there are billions of people in this world, and practically almost every single person has a different face. What a feat. What a way to just be in awe of God. I don't think even an artist, if he sat down his entire life, can make 1,000,000 different faces. I don't think so. However, they say that a person also sometimes resembles an animal. And the resemblance that he has of an animal speaks of his characteristics. So you know that sometimes when you look at somebody, you see an animal.
It's not the most flattering of ways, though.
Why? Sometimes I see guys that look like lions. I see it on their face. You see it. They have that. So funny you should say that. So here, I'll give you some examples. They say a person that has fangs. People that have those canine teeth, they have tendencies to be cruel. People that look like monkeys, which would be like big round eyes, maybe ears that stick out, those are grabbers. They're prone to be thieves. Or whatever, they have the tendency. They don't have to be. They have to work on their character. People that look like cows, those big cow eyes, a little bit of a longer face, lazy. They actually tell us that the entire animal kingdom is in us. Hashem created us that we have all the characteristics of every animal in the world inside of us. For those of you that pray in the morning korbanot, right at the end, there's a line that says over there, Yehuda ben Tema Omer. A rabbi from the Gemara says, Heve az kanamer, be brazen like a leopard, vekal kanesher, and light like an eagle, virat ketzvi, and swift as a deer, vegibor ka'ari, and strong like a lion, la'asot retzon avicha shebashamayim, to do the retzon avicha, to do the retzon avicha, how can we say this? Hashem's what Hashem wants from you on a regular basis. So they say, why would the rabbi say this line? Because he says we have that characteristic inside of us. In other words, when you wake up in the morning, have that az, be brazen to wake up right away, fight yourself from that sleep. Don't be heavy. People in the morning sometimes are heavy. They drag themselves out of bed. It takes them about 45 minutes till the machine starts to move. The rabbi's telling us, no, be light. Veratz katzvi, and on the way to your mitzvot, don't take your time, don't dilly-dally, go straight to the mitzvah. Vegibor ka'ari, and you got to be strong like a lion. Why would the rabbi say this? He could say, be strong like a warrior, be light like a feather. Why would he say all these things? It's because we have those animalistic characteristics inside of us. And sometimes they also come out in a person's face. Like I see a lot of bird faces. I don't know about you, but sometimes that stands out to me a lot. People that look like birds sometimes. I did not look it up though. And just as the face tells a lot about a person, so do the hands, the fingers, and the nails. Listen to this. Let's talk about the nails. The rabbis say that if you see a white spot on your nails on the right hand side, it means that something good is about to happen. If you see a white spot on your nails on your left hand side, be cautious, be careful. You have to be careful. Now, let's just say if you see it at the bottom, it's not going to happen anytime soon. But let's just say you see it to the top and you're clipping your nails right before Shabbat and you're right at the tip of that white thing, It's probably going to happen that Shabbat, or maybe the week of that Shabbat. Take a look at your nails, and they say, if you ever see that, it's a good sign. Let's study the hands a little bit. I suggest that you just pick the hand that looks like yours and pay attention to what pertains to that hand. Don't pay attention to everything, because then you get oversaturated, okay? There's 4 types of hands. And see which one is yours. There's a square hand, which means that this and this is about the same size, okay? And then there's a rectangle hand, where it's a little bit taller and it's a rectangle. So you either have a square palm or a rectangle palm. Start off with that, okay? Now you could either have square hands and short fingers, square hands and long fingers, or you can have a rectangle hand with short fingers, or a rectangle hand with long fingers. You found yours, more or less? Are you a hybrid in between? Now, I think you're square hands, long fingers. I would say that too, yeah. Here's square hands, short fingers.
That's square hand, short finger.
Short, like mine.
So what is that?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that. I mean, the truth is, wait, let me give a disclaimer. I know nothing of this. I'm just repeating information.
Right.
Just go with it. Whatever you pick up along the way. If you're off, you're not going to be off by that much. Now, each type of hand is controlled by the 4 elements. And the 4 elements are earth, air, fire, and wind. Okay? I'm sorry. Earth, air, fire, and water. In Hebrew, afar, avir, esh, v'mayim. Let's start from the beginning. Anyone who has a square hand with short fingers that comes from the earth sign typically has atzvut, which is he's prone to depression, melancholy, laziness. However, they're also very faithful. They enjoy routines in their life, and they have a very, very strong character. People that have a square hand and long fingers that come from the sign of air are typically very talkative. People that are very into high-tech, media, TV, they like to be out there. They're not so spiritual. Anyone who has a rectangle hand with short fingers has the sign of Esh, fire. And those are very powerful souls. It's a big soul. Usually they turn out to be leaders in society or in a room. And they strive to excel. And they like to promote their ideas. However, they can easily destroy, just like fire. Now, rectangle hands with long fingers comes from the sign of water, Mayim. Those people are prone to desires, to tavot. And they're very drawn to worldly things, to gashmiut. But they're also dreamers, and they love beauty, and they are drawn to things of this world. Now, what's written on the hand is a language. It's the language of Middot. Your hand right now is talking to you about your own character. And Middot and character and a person's fate are bound together hand in hand. For example, a person robbing a bank for $10 million and killing 3 people along the way, you could tell that on a person's hand. Going to the store to buy milk in the, for breakfast, you're not going to see that on your hand. In other words, certain things are there, certain things are not there. The big things are there. Now, fixing our midot is part of our tikkun. Remember, we were here several times. That means we're here with spiritual baggage. There's things that we left unchecked from our previous lives, and they're getting recycled, and we have to check that off. Those are the things that you have no clue why they come into your life. You're living a life, everything makes sense, all of a sudden out of left field, this person comes into your life and ruins it. Out of nowhere, this person comes into your business and ruins it. Out of nowhere, this person, you have a fight with it. Where did these come from? Typically, they're unsolved issues from a previous life, and now Hashem is throwing it back into your life, so you have the opportunity to fix it. It's either you have that spiritual antenna up that says, okay, I'm ready for this. I know it makes no sense, but it's part of my tikkun from a previous life. Or you complain about it and don't understand it for your entire life. So fixing our midot is part of our tikkun. Let's see how it works out. Looking at our face and hands, we can get a glimpse into how we can fix our tikkun. For example, a person who needs to fix his midot of anger, right? That's a person, he's constantly angry. He's challenged with anger on a daily basis. Whether it's his boss, whether it's his wife, whether it's his children, whether it's any situation, he will keep getting anger recycled into his life until he overcomes his anger and fixes that particular character trait. In other words, why does my wife keep making me angry? Why is my boss always on my case? They are messengers that Hashem says, you're getting angry. Welcome. You are getting angry. One of the things that you have to work on is your anger. So your test is coming through your boss. Your test is coming through your wife. Your test is coming through your kids. Work on it. And
is this like you're coming from a prior life that you're putting this world to fix that issue?
Part of it, yes. Some of it is connected to this life, exactly, to this lifetime. But there are definitely certain issues that are from a previous life that are thrown into the mix in order for you to check that box. It's like you have a list, a checklist of 100 points. You checked off 93. There's 7 left. Come back. Those 7 things are going to be plugged into your regular life now in order to fix it. I'll give you an example. A person in a previous life was a boss. He had 40 secretaries, and he was a bad boss. He gave him a hard time. He gave him a super hard time. He comes back again in a different Gilgul, and now he's a young man, and he wants to get remarried. He wants to get married. And now every single day, let's just say we'll make him a religious boy that studies all week, and on Sundays they give him a shidduch, go meet the lady, go have dinner or coffee with her, and every Sunday he goes and he tries to meet his future wife, and it doesn't work out. And it doesn't work out. And it doesn't work out. The guy's gone on 40 dates in the past 2 years and it hasn't worked out. Why? Maybe it's the tikkun for those 40 secretaries he gave a hard time last time. Maybe the reason you're having a hard time with 40 women is because you gave a hard time to 40 women in your previous life. I'm giving just a random example, but things like that.
How you correctly?
Hashem gives you the challenge and you pass it. What we're trying to learn over here is how to be aware, how to have that spiritual antenna to pick it up, that yes, there's a reason why this situation is in my life. Nowadays, leave me alone, press the red button, don't pick up the phone call, or I don't want to hear it, or email me, or we keep running away from it. Or, as soon as it comes to your life, say, okay, there's a reason for everything. There's a reason why I'm not getting along with this person. There's a reason why I have this situation in my business. There's a reason why I'm that. And just understand that the best thing is just to work it out the right way, the Jewish way, so you can check that box and move on with life. Otherwise, it's going to keep coming back. Hashem will recycle it in a different person or in a different situation, a different scenario. The only thing is, it's going to get compounded, one on top of the other, on top of the other. By the end, you're going to have this 10 issues that you have to deal with. After 5 years, you're going to feel overwhelmed. And then what happens? Hands up in the air. I can't. It's easier to deal with something when it comes. And just understand that it's a custom-built moment for you. Hashem sent it for you and made this moment for you because it's exactly a perfect situation for your life. Now, if he gets a wife and kids that are angels, it's a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. They're just there to help him fix his midot. How about a person who's having a hard time, who's being cheap? It's hard for him to give away his money. He can look at a guy with his hand out and he won't take out $1. He can get a text about somebody who needs help halfway across the world to bury somebody and he won't help. You know, many, many different things that are out there. Then Hashem will constantly give him these situations where people are asking for tzedakah, people are asking for tzedakah, in order to what? To rectify. Give tzedakah. Fix it. Rather than fail again and again and again, and the problem becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. The Zohar says, Isha hi tikun ba'ala. The woman is the tikkun of her husband. Anyone who's married knows that sometimes marriage is difficult. Sometimes marriage is not a walk in the park. Because the woman challenges the man to certain points that are unbelievable. Some people have an unbelievable marriage. But sometimes they have misunderstandings or fights. And all of that is because you're spending the most amount of time with her. She gets to see you the most. She gets to see what needs to be fixed or upgraded in you. Now, what's the chidush over here? It's not the woman's opinion of you that's there to fix you. It's not what she thinks and what her opinion is, and you don't want to satisfy that. Hashem sent her, and He speaks through her on how to fix you. The wife is a tool. She's a tool for your tikkun. The Zohar says, Isha hi tikun ba'ala. They say a man can have the most amazing day with his wife. He comes home with flowers, with chocolates. He's ready to have the best night with his wife. He opens up the door, and there she goes. Ba, 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 and she's going and she's yelling, she's screaming like, "Oh no, that's not what I expected." They say, "What did you do during the day? Did you look at something? Did you talk a certain way? Were you behaving a proper way?" No, Hashem just put a disc in her throat. He's just playing to you what the message that He wants to get. Yeah, but I have flowers and chocolate. It's not connected to that moment. There's a tikkun happening over here for what you did before. The wife is a tool. It's a tikkun of her husband.
Do you think that she can have a tikkun on him, or he has to work on himself?
First of all, there's no question that the person has to work on himself. We are not perfect. Everybody is just giving like raw material, and Hashem says, put it together, make it better. And the wife is the person that helps him. The wife is ezer kenegdo. Sometimes she's ezer, she's an assistant. Sometimes she's kenegdo, she's against him. But both times, it's for his best. It's for the best. In the Gemara in Yerushalmi, we have the Gemara, we have Bavli in Yerushalmi. In Yerushalmi it says, Ezehu oyev bebeto. Who is the enemy in the house? Ishto, the wife. That's how a man feels sometimes, that he's sleeping with the enemy. But why? But why is that? Why is that? Is because the husband doesn't want to accept the work. He doesn't want to work on himself. He doesn't want to work on his midot. He doesn't work on his characteristics. So even though that he knows that she is just helping him work on himself, helping him get to a better version of himself, that she's just the assistant of Hashem. Hashem is speaking to him through her. Then he'll say, you know what, thank you for helping me. Thank you for crystallizing what is wrong with me. Let's work on it. Help me get there. Or a person.
Very hard to think of that at the moment.
Oh my God, the hardest thing. Did I not give a disclaimer that marriage is very hard? But if you're open, if you're working on your midot, and this is what we're talking about here, if we're working on our character, if you're open to that and you're working on it, then you see the wife, thank you for helping me out. You're my mirror. You're getting me there. It's very hard in the moment, 100%.
Doesn't she have to accept him the way he is? Why does she have to change him or work on him? Because
we are constantly getting to be B'Tselem Elokim. We are not perfect. We are far from perfect. Let me give you an example. A person who's not working on himself, he's rotting. He's just a bomb waiting to explode. Judaism is levels. It's all levels. Character is levels. The more you work on yourself, the higher level you get on. What's the highest level? Well, I'll give you an example. Moshe Rabbeinu. Last week we gave the example. A beautiful story in the Midrash. Go to last week's class and you'll hear it. He got to such a high level. At the end of his life, he became half an angel. There's no limit on working on yourself. You also have to work on yourself to the point where your surroundings, your husband, your family, your co-workers, it's a peaceful environment. If there's, fires flaring up everywhere, you got to pay attention to where those fires are flaring from. But at the end of the day, you have to work on your midot. You have to work on yourself. You constantly in a state of bettering yourself. The minute you think that you're good, you're gone. Because then the gava comes in. I'm perfect. Everybody's wrong. Everybody else has to change, not me. So you work on yourself, and everybody will notice it. Now, the hand shows the potential of a person's life. The hand changes its lines and shapes according to the actions of the person. The Torah, mitzvot, and ma'asim tovim change the outcome, placement, and position of the hand's lines. In other words, it looks like this today. I learn Torah, I do mitzvot, I do good deeds. You come back, see my hand in a year from now, it's different. Different lines, things move. Same thing on the face. The left hand, like we said before, is the past life and our potential. And the right hand is this life. Now we're going to get into it. You're going to enjoy this a little bit. This is interesting.
It's reversed, like if you're left-handed.
Well, in the beginning of the class, we checked. Everybody's right-handed. It's the hand that you're right with. Everybody here is right.
The dominant hand.
The dominant hand. So we checked. So we're speaking like that. Anybody at home, we already said the disclaimer. Okay, we're going to focus on 3 lines on our hands and gain some knowledge about ourselves through their position and their placement. What a visual guide. Take your right hand. Now take a look. There are 3 lines. The top one is called Kav Halev, the heart line. That's the top. The one right under it that starts to dip a little bit, it's called Kav Harosh, the headline. And then you have that line that goes down the palm, it's called Kav HaChaim, and that's the lifeline. Okay? Now, this little space right here in between is called Shulchano Shel Adam, a man's table. In other words, his parnasa. Let's talk about money. The distance between the heart line and the headline determines a person's finances. The closer they are, the less money. The wider they are, the more money, the more finances. Now, and you see, the farther apart that they are, you can tell how things get better. Now, let me show you something. Look at the fingers. Right here is age 0. Here's age 35. And the last finger is about 70 or 90. So everybody's probably living right here in this area right here right now. I see this age group, or maybe right here. So you can see when you look at your hand, it could be that in your 20s and 30s it's kind of narrow. But when it goes towards the end, it widens up. That shows that the finances are getting better. If it's in reverse, that means it's getting a little bit tighter. And this can change. Remember, what you see now is old news. Do Torah, mitzvot, ma'asim tovim, that could change. And your hand will change. Now, let's talk about health. You see right here, pay attention to your thumb. Do you notice some lines coming out of it? You see some lines? Those are stress lines. Those are lines that are caused by the stress in your life. Now look at this. Does anybody have a pen here? No? Do you mind? Yes. You do? Thank you. No need. Pass that to me. I'm going to draw this on very quickly so you can see.
No, just press it on the top.
If your stress lines past the lifeline, right here, that means that you have stress that's affecting the quality of your life. Now, if it passes the headline, which is this, right, starts to travel a little bit further up to the headline, that means you have stress that distracts your thoughts on a daily basis. You're constantly worried about your health. Now, if you have lines that pass the heart line, that are traveling further up, it means that it physically hurts the heart. You are in trouble here. You got to take it easy. Too much stress. So when you're younger, for the younger folk in the room, you want to keep it right here. As you're getting older and you see that the lines are starting to go higher, higher, and higher, you got to take it easy. These stress lines are a sign of having to slow things down. They say ways to avoid stress and having good health. Welcome, have a seat. Eat greens at night. Exercise, walk, run, jog. You want to avoid blood pressure and pressure buildup. A lot of people have a lot of pressure in their life. You know, people, in Hebrew they say, lachatzim, lachatzim. You know, the minute you see those lines, you got to find your peace now, your serenity now. And the third way to avoid stress is you acquire knowledge. Just like we're doing right here, right now. You start acquiring knowledge on how to live life stress-free. Those are 3 ways to change your health. Eat greens, exercise, and acquire knowledge how to de-stress your life. How to have an easier way of living life and a better outlook. All on your hand.
What happens if I got cut in my...
I don't know.
You see, I can't tell.
I'm not, but
Wait, if you get what?
I got cut when I was a
You
little bit.
believe in the people
And I
really
interrupted
no, of course
my
not.
life.
This is just it's a way to know our Middot.
If it
We-
appears on its own.
I'll try to send you something about it. I don't know what happens to cuts that happen, but it's not part of your palm. It's just a bruise.
Yeah.
Okay, there are 3 ways. There are 3 ways to change anything that you currently see on your hand for the better. In other words, let's just say we just did this little exercise. You don't like what you saw. Some things, you know what? I'm not happy with what we just filled me in on. You can change it for the better. How? 3 ways. 1 is nedivut halev, giving, doing chesed. The more you give, you will get more. Chesed. This one is super interesting. Even right now, it's blowing me away. A way to better your life, a way to better the outcome of your life, liot yitzirati, to be artistic. Being creative changes your future. There's some people that just don't draw, don't play music, don't play. I don't know which ways you can be creative nowadays, but there's tons of ways. But apparently, the rabbis tell us that is one way to change your life for the better, in your health, in your finances, in your zivug, in your
By drawing?
yes.
It releases stress.
Being creative does something to the human mind, body, and soul. Being creative. That's what I'm saying. I'm still shocked from it.
I thought Ishkai said something similar like that. He said your hands should never be still. Because he said it would ruin your mind.
That's why
Chidush.
those fidgety things.
The last one is Yirat Shamayim. Reverence of God. That prolongs your life. What's reverence of God? You're walking around and you're just in awe of Hashem. You look at nature like, wow. You look at a bird flying, wow. You look at the room, look at all these different faces, wow. You look at how the body is working, wow. Just to constantly remind yourself that there's a creator and you're in awe of him.
Is that related to like having gratitude?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Gratitude brings you to thinking. When you're thankful, you're thinking about what you're thankful for. And when you're thankful, you're appreciative. And when you're appreciative, you have reverence of Hashem. Because when you appreciate, you don't say, oh, nice job. You say, thank you, Hashem, for giving it to me. Another interesting fact about the hands. See, when you hold your hand like this, right, the thumb, when it's at 180 degrees, right, and you can't move it more than that, right, it means you're a very rigid person. You're not flexible. You're tough to get along with. And then there's people where their finger goes past the 180. See that? That means that the person is very flexible. That the person is very easy to get along with. For those that are like this,
That's not a good sign.
it's who you are, but this is only your potential. You might be the most flexible person in the world, but you fought your character and you refined your character, and right now you use that as a guide to say, I have the tendency to be hard, but I worked on myself and now I'm super flexible, even though that my body says different. Like we said, it's a map. Now, listen to this chidush. What do the yeshiva boys do when they study? What do they do with their thumbs? They go like this and they go like that. Why? They want to show that they're being flexible to the other person's opinion, to the other way of thinking, to the other chidush that the person has. The whole thing that you see them, where did it come from? It's a Kabbalistic point that they made, that they used the hands to be flexible. I want to understand your way. I want to see where you're coming from. That's where it came from. It's not just something that they chose a finger and they just went for it. It's from here. I love that one. Okay, all this knowledge is just a tool to fulfill your tikkun. It's just another way to get to know ourselves so we can get to the essence of our purpose in life faster and enjoy living a fulfilled life. You see, to have more of a purposeful journey that has direction and has us in the know and in control of our character and our destiny is way better than just being that lost soul. I don't know, can somebody help me? I don't know who I am, I don't know what I like. So many lost people. Wouldn't it just be better if you just took like 6 months or a year and just explored who you are, found out who you really are, what's your character, what's your pros, what's your cons, what's your deficiencies, what's your assets? Isn't it just better to invest in yourself for a year and then the rest of your life, I know who I am? Wouldn't that be better? I can be difficult. Let me work on that. I'm going to have some financial problems. Let me work on that. Isn't it easy to just, Hashem gave you a face and hand that you don't have to turn to anyone. Turn to yourself and say, who am I? Rather than just being that lost individual, which is like a trend nowadays. It's cool to be lost. And just ask for people to help you. The Arizal, as well as the Gaon Mivilna, say, if you want to have a big clue to what your tikkun is, to what your purpose in life is, look at the parasha that you were born on. Whatever your parasha is, look into it. Now, take your Hebrew birthday and look it up also. And see what day you were born on. You see, the parasha has 7 aliyot. You can go up to 7 different times to the Torah, corresponding to 7 days. So if somebody was born on Parashat Bo on a Wednesday, go to Bo, open up Revi'i, the 4th aliyah, there's your tikkun. There's your life story. There's what you have to work on. The Arizal and the Gaon Mevilna said that. I thought that was so interesting. I opened mine up, and there's something there, but there's more introspect. Like I still have to maybe study that portion even more to see how it speaks to me. But later on, when I started to ask some people around on this, there's a few people that did it, and a few people that actually got real direction and real insight to their journey in this world.
I've actually never heard of that.
Me too. It's chidush. Baruch Hashem. In conclusion of our introspect into Chokhmat HaPanim VaYad, this look into personality and palmistry as taught to us by the Kabbalah, we understand that Hashem gave us the tools to gauge who we are in this world and the clues and signs to our potential. A personal GPS to our lives. But He left it open to Bechira Chofshit, free will. He left the option of choosing our lives and its outcome. Overall, we went on this tangent of Avodat Hashem B'Simcha on this measure of Middot. We've been on this maybe 4 or 5 lessons, and there's some important things to remember. It's important that we are here to improve ourselves. We're here to upgrade ourselves to a better version of ourselves, a 2.0 version of you. And you want to be as close as possible to Tselem Elokim. That's the goal. That's the goal. Tselem Elokim, to emulate Hashem. We want to delete anger and hate. And we want to learn how to love the Jewish way. And a few classes ago we learned that love is an action, not a thought or a feeling. We want to add Gemilut Chasadim and Nidivut Lev, good deeds, benevolence. We want to be more creative. And we want to draw more from Chokhmat HaTorah than from any external sources. In other words, if you're having a moment where you really want to add something to your life, and you're going to sit down and you're going to open up a book, or you're going to go on your phone and you're going to read something from the Torah. It doesn't have to be the Parsha. There's so many things that you can draw from, rather than drawing from external sources. I'll say it plainly. Instead of spending an hour on Facebook, spend 45 minutes on Facebook. But do 15 minutes of something that will better yourself as a Jew. Find that teacher, find that book, find that website, find that app that talks to you, and give it attention. Have a lev tov, have a good heart. Have simchat chaim. Be happy. And the overall big concept that we spoke about for several classes, that if we want to just summarize everything about Middot, what is it that, give it to me as a one-liner. You gave me 5 classes, give me one line. Love your fellow Jew. Don't do unto others what you don't want done to you. That should carry you through life if you follow that. And when it comes to personality and palmistry, Chokhmat HaPanim VaYad, never forget, Tamim telech im Hashem Elokecha. You have to be innocent and wholehearted with Hashem. You don't need to have all this knowledge. If you need it, it's there. You're not going to go chase right now that neon sign on Biscayne Boulevard, $5 palm reader, help me out. It's not for you. If you need some help, you can read some books with the Jewish thought on it to better your personality, to find your true Jewish identity, your true character. But Hashem says, have emunah, that I have the best in mind for you. Use the knowledge for yourself and for self-improvement, and never to judge others. And if you paid attention to the series, it's been a journey. It began with the secret to life, that anyone who hasn't listened to that class, you should listen to that class. It's a great starting point to everything that we're talking about. We went on to discover emunah and the importance of having faith. We spoke about happiness, how all of Hashem's mitzvot, avodat Hashem, is worth nothing unless you're happy. We learned how to pray and the power of prayer, the concept of tshuva, and then we embarked on a journey of the Middot with love and lust, hate and anger, the secrets of the face and the hand, which was mostly internal work on the self and self-improvement. The next lesson will be taking our improved, upgraded version of ourselves and interacting as one of many. One Jew, part of a nation, of Am Yisrael. The next class will be on unity, on Achdut. This one is major and super necessary for this generation and for the bringing forth of the Mashiach. In other words, we spend a lot of time working on ourselves as individuals. It's time to go out there in the world and interact with other Jews. When we're united, we win. When we're divided, we lose. There's a big war going out there. And it's the Yetzer Hara versus Yetzer HaTov. Yetzer Hara is winning a little bit because we have division. We're winning in some places. There's more Baalei Tshuva now than ever before. We're by the millions. God bless. More power. Bezat Hashem, all Am Yisrael will do Teshuvah. But within Am Yisrael, there's division. And what we want to do is we want to avoid that, because they say Mashiach comes when we're all united. So it's a very important class next week, unity.
Amen.
May Hashem give you the power and desire to put in the work so you can see true results. May Hashem take the amal, the effort that you put in, and complete it for you. You did your share. Be'ezat Hashem, that God will help you finish that job so you can succeed in your upgrade. May you make Hashem happy. And in turn, He will elevate you both spiritually and in all your endeavors. And Be'ezat Hashem, you look at yourself in the mirror and see the potential achieved, and the knowledge gained, and the clarity applied to your everyday life. As you graduate to a new you, a better you, a fulfilled you, a successful Jew. And we discover the true Jewish identity in the process. שיתו ליבכם לחילה, פסגו בנותיה למען תספרו לדור האחרון, שהשם יברך אתכם וישמח אתכם. Thank you so much for being here for the class.